Have you ever paused to wonder, am I truly living my life, or is my life living me? Think about it. How many years have slipped away as you chased goals that didn't ignite your soul, responded to endless demands, or got lost in the constant noise of modern life? What if this is your moment to break free? Imagine waking up each day with a sense of purpose, where every action aligns with your deepest values. It's not about being busy, it's about being intentional. In 2025, you have a powerful opportunity to hit reset, rediscover who you are, and design a life that truly resonates with your heart and mind. But here's the secret: transformation doesn't happen by piling on more commitments. Real change comes from letting go of distractions, self-doubt, and the heavy weight of societal expectations. As a wise monk once said, working hard for something you don't care about is stress. Working hard for something you love is passion. This is your year to embrace passion, purpose, and peace. To strip away what doesn't serve you and focus on what truly matters. Join us as we explore 10 life-changing lessons, a blend of timeless wisdom and practical steps to help you reclaim your focus, align with your purpose, and live with authenticity. These lessons will challenge you to dig deep, reflect, and craft a life that feels undeniably yours. Ready to make 2025 your turning point? Don't wait. Subscribe to the channel for more transformative content, and share this video with someone who needs a fresh start. Let's inspire each other to rise above the noise and step into a life of clarity and meaning. Your journey begins here. Press play and join us now. Lesson 1. Let go of attachments. Think about the things that hold you back, the fears, regrets, and expectations that create unnecessary suffering. How much of your pain comes from clinging? Clinging to people who've outgrown you, outcomes you can't control, or a version of yourself you no longer recognize? These attachments can become invisible chains, weighing you down and preventing you from living fully in the present moment. Buddha's wisdom reminds us you only lose what you cling to. This profound truth invites us to examine the nature of our attachments and understand their impact on our well-being. Letting go isn't about abandoning responsibility, relationships, or ambition. It's about freeing yourself from the mental and emotional grip of unhealthy attachment, the kind that leads to suffering when things inevitably change or don't align with our expectations. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you released the things that no longer serve your growth or happiness. What could you accomplish if your mind wasn't preoccupied with holding on to the past or controlling the future? Start small. Letting go is a practice, not a one-time event. Begin by identifying one thing that's causing you stress or emotional strain. Perhaps it's a grudge against someone who wronged you, a fear of failing at something important, or the overwhelming need to control every detail of your life. Ask yourself, does this thought or feeling help me grow, or does it hold me back? Acknowledging the hold that this attachment has over you is the first step toward liberation. Releasing attachments doesn't mean you don't care. It means caring in a healthier, more balanced way. For example, letting go of resentment towards someone who hurt you doesn't mean condoning their actions. It means freeing yourself from the burden of anger, which only poisons your peace of mind. Similarly, letting go of the need to control every outcome doesn't mean giving up on your goals. It means trusting the process and allowing room for life's natural flow. Gratitude is a powerful ally in this journey. By shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have, you can ease the grip of attachment. Each day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. They can be as simple as a kind gesture from a friend, the warmth of the sun, or the steady rhythm of your breath. Over time, this simple practice can rewire your mind to see abundance rather than scarcity, helping you release attachments with greater ease and grace. Letting go opens the door to possibilities you might never have considered. When you release the weight of what's not meant for you, you create space for peace, growth, and abundance. You allow yourself to experience life as it is, rather than as you think it should be. you begin to embrace the beauty of impermanence, recognizing that change isn't something to fear, but a natural and necessary part of life's unfolding. Remember, letting go is not a sign of weakness, but a profound act of courage and self-love. It's a way of saying to yourself, I deserve peace more than I deserve to carry this burden. With time and practice, you'll discover the strength to release what no longer serves you, and welcome a life that feels lighter, freer, and more aligned with your true self. There was once a man named Arun who lived in a small village by a river. Arun was known for his meticulous nature. He planned every detail of his life and held on tightly to his belongings, his routines, and even old grudges. Among his most prized possessions was an old wooden boat. It had once been his father's, and although it was now falling apart and unusable, Arun kept it tied to a tree by the riverbank. One day, a great storm swept through the village. The river rose and flooded the land. The villagers began to evacuate, carrying only what they could. Arun, however, was paralyzed by indecision. He refused to leave without his boat. "Well, don't you just leave it?" his neighbor pleaded. "The boat is broken, it can't help you now." "No," Arun insisted, gripping the boat's rope tightly. "This boat is my father's legacy. It's part of who I am. I can't abandon it." The floodwaters rose higher, threatening Arun's life. It wasn't until he was forced to climb a tree to escape the torrent that he realized his mistake. From his perch, he watched as the boat was swept away by the current. Strangely, instead of despair, he felt a wave of relief. The boat was gone, and he was still alive. In the days that followed, Arun began to understand the burden he had carried. The boat, once a cherished memory of his father, had become a weight that tied him to the past. By letting it go, he made space in his heart for new experiences and a deeper appreciation of the present. Start small. Letting go is a practice, not a one-time event. Begin by identifying one thing that's causing you stress or emotional strain. Perhaps it's a grudge against someone who wronged you, a fear of failing at something important, or the overwhelming need to control every detail of your life. Ask yourself, does this thought or feeling help me grow, or does it hold me back? Acknowledging the hold that this attachment has over you is the first step toward liberation. Releasing attachments doesn't mean you don't care. It means caring in a healthier, more balanced way. For example, letting go of resentment towards someone who hurt you doesn't mean condoning their actions. It means freeing yourself from the burden of anger, which only poisons your peace of mind. Similarly, letting go of the need to control every outcome doesn't mean giving up on your goals. It means trusting the process and allowing room for life's natural flow. Gratitude is a powerful ally in this journey. By shifting your focus from what you lack to what you have, you can ease the grip of attachment. Each day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. They can be as simple as a kind gesture from a friend, the warmth of the sun, or the steady rhythm of your breath. Over time, this simple practice can rewire your mind to see abundance rather than scarcity, helping you release attachments with greater ease and grace. Letting go opens the door to possibilities you might never have considered. When you release the weight of what's not meant for you, you create space for peace, growth, and abundance. You allow yourself to experience life as it is, rather than as you think it should be. You begin to embrace the beauty of impermanence, recognizing that change isn't something to fear, but a natural and necessary part of life's unfolding. Remember, letting go is not a sign of weakness, but a profound act of courage and self-love. It's a way of saying to yourself, I deserve peace more than I deserve to carry this burden. With time and practice, you'll discover the strength to release what no longer serves you and welcome a life that feels lighter, freer, and more aligned with your true self. Lesson 2. Cultivate self-awareness. How well do you know yourself? Truly, deeply know yourself, your thoughts, emotions, patterns, and triggers. In a world filled with distractions, it's easy to lose touch with your inner truth. Yet, without self-awareness, we're like leaves blown in the wind, reacting to every gust without a sense of direction or purpose. Buddha said, "What we think we become." This simple yet profound statement reminds us that our thoughts are not just fleeting moments, but powerful forces shaping our reality. Self-awareness is the bridge that connects these thoughts to intentional actions, enabling us to steer our lives with clarity and purpose. There was once a lantern keeper named Maya who lived on a remote island. Her job was simple: to light the lantern atop the island's tallest cliff every evening so ships could navigate safely through the rocky waters. For years, Maya performed her task diligently, but she never questioned why the lantern often flickered or why some nights it barely shone at all. One stormy evening, Maya climbed the steep path to the lantern and noticed that it had stopped working altogether. Frustrated, she inspected the lantern and discovered something she had never noticed before: a small crack in the oil reservoir. Slowly, drop by drop, the oil had been leaking out, leaving the lantern dim and unreliable. Maya realized the crack had been there for years, but she had been too busy tending to the external task of lighting the lantern to notice the internal issue. With this awareness, she took the time to repair the crack, ensuring the lantern could shine brightly every night. At night, as the ships passed safely by, Maya felt a profound sense of peace. She understood that her lantern was a reflection of herself. Just as the lantern needed its oil reservoir to be intact to shine brightly, she needed to tend to her own inner world to live with clarity and purpose. Like Maya, we often focus on the external tasks of life, our work, relationships, and responsibilities, without tending to the internal cracks in our thoughts, emotions, and patterns. Without self-awareness, these cracks may go unnoticed, slowly draining our energy and preventing us from living our fullest lives. In 2025, commit to self-reflection as a daily practice. Set aside just 10 minutes each day to journal about your fears, dreams, and recurring behaviors. What patterns do you notice? Are there thoughts that dominate your mind or emotions that frequently resurface? This isn't about judging yourself, it's about creating a space of curiosity and compassion where you can truly understand yourself. Here's a simple exercise to begin your journey. 1. Find a quiet space. Sit comfortably in a place where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. 2. Ask yourself, what do I feel right now? Let the answers come naturally, without judgment or the need to fix anything. 3. Observe with curiosity. Notice where your mind goes. Are there specific thoughts, physical sensations, or emotions that arise? Simply acknowledge them. 4. Journal your observations. Afterward, write down what you noticed. Over time, patterns may emerge, offering insights into your inner world. Self-awareness is like a lantern in the dark. It illuminates not only your path, but also the obstacles and blind spots that may hinder your progress. With this light, you can navigate life's challenges with greater ease and make choices that reflect your authentic self. In a world where it's easy to feel lost or disconnected, self-awareness becomes your anchor, grounding you in the truth of who you are. Embrace this practice in 2025 and watch as your life transforms, not through force or control, but through the simple act of noticing and understanding. Be your own lantern keeper and let your light shine brightly. Lesson 3. Build emotional resilience. Life's storms are inevitable. Loss, disappointment, and uncertainty will come, but emotional resilience allows you to weather them with grace. It's not about avoiding pain. It's about learning to grow through it, transforming challenges into opportunities for deeper understanding and self-discovery. Think about a time when anger, fear, or sadness overwhelmed you. Did you react impulsively, or did you pause to process what you were feeling? Buddha's wisdom reminds us, you will not be punished for your anger, you will be punished by your anger. This timeless teaching underlines the truth that while emotions are natural and powerful, they don't have to control you. By stepping back and observing your emotions, you create space for a more thoughtful and compassionate response. Imagine a young woman named Mai, who had worked tirelessly for years to build her small bakery. One day, a sudden storm, both literal and figurative, hit her life. A devastating flood swept through her town, destroying her shop and everything she had built. As she stood before the wreckage, overwhelmed by grief and frustration, tears streamed down her face. She wanted to scream at the unfairness of it all. In that moment, she remembered a story her grandmother once told her about the oak tree. The oak, her grandmother had said, is strong not because it never faces storms, but because its roots go deep. When the wind howls and the rain pours, the oak bends but doesn't break. May took a deep breath and asked herself, "What am I feeling?" Sadness, anger, and fear swirled inside her, but she didn't push them away. Instead, she sat with those emotions, acknowledging them. Then she asked, "Why am I feeling this way?" The answer became clear. She was grieving not just the loss of her bakery, but also the dreams and security it had represented. Rather than reacting impulsively, Mai decided to pause. Over the next few days, she reached out to friends, family, and even strangers in her community. She shared her story, and to her surprise, they rallied around her, offering help, donations, and encouragement. Slowly, she began to rebuild, not just her bakery, but also her resilience. Mai realized that the flood, while devastating, had also revealed her inner strength and the support of her community. It taught her to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, much like the oak tree weathering the storm. Building emotional resilience begins with self-awareness. In moments of distress, take a deep breath and ground yourself. Ask, "What am I feeling?" Label your emotions, whether it's frustration, fear, sadness, or confusion. Then dig deeper. Why am I feeling this way? Understanding the root of your emotions helps diffuse their intensity and equips you to respond with clarity. This simple practice of pausing and reflecting creates a buffer between your emotions and your actions. In 2025, commit to cultivating resilience as a daily practice. Begin with small, intentional steps. For instance, keep a journal to track your emotional patterns and how you respond to challenges. This reflective habit helps you notice triggers and recognize progress over time. Consider incorporating mindfulness techniques such as meditation or deep breathing exercises to calm your mind and stay present in difficult moments. These practices not only reduce stress, but also build your capacity to face adversity with poise. Remember, and like Mai, you too can learn to stand tall and weather life's storms, rooted in resilience. Lesson 4. Master focus. In today's fast-passing world, distractions are omnipresent, vying for our attention at every turn. Notifications ping incessantly, emails pile up, and the infinite scroll of social media pulls us into a whirlwind of fragmented focus. These external stimuli scatter our energy, leaving us not only exhausted, but also disconnected from the moments that truly matter. Yet, amidst this chaos, there lies an opportunity, the chance to reclaim our focus and experience the profound joy of being fully present. Imagine two individuals navigating the same demanding workday. Alex, a project manager, begins the day overwhelmed. As soon as the alarm rings, Alex reaches for the phone, scrolling through notifications and emails. Breakfast is hurried, consumed alongside a flood of news updates. At work, Alex juggles responding to emails, attending meetings, and coordinating tasks with team members. Multitasking feels productive, but by noon, Alex feels frazzled. Important details are missed, and frustration builds. The day ends in exhaustion, with a sense that nothing truly meaningful was accomplished. On the other hand, Emma, also a project manager, starts the day differently. Before reaching for her phone, she spends 10 minutes practicing mindfulness meditation. Sitting quietly, she focuses on her breath, gently redirecting her thoughts whenever they wander. This simple practice grounds her, creating a calm and clear mindset. As Emma moves through her day, she applies the principles of mindfulness. During breakfast, she takes time to savor each bite, noticing the flavors and textures. At work, instead of multitasking, she tackles one task at a time with full attention. Emails are checked at scheduled intervals, and meetings are approached with focus, ensuring her contributions are thoughtful and clear. By the end of the day, Emma feels accomplished and calm. Tasks are completed with intention, and she has energy left for herself and her loved ones. The difference between Alex and Emma lies not in the amount of work they face, but in how they approach it. Alex lets distractions dictate the flow of the day, while Emma actively chooses where to place her focus. This intentional choice transforms not only productivity, but also overall well-being. The story reminds us that in a world filled with endless demands, we have the power to take control. By practicing mindfulness, dedicating ourselves to the present moment, and cultivating focus, we can turn chaos into clarity, exhaustion into energy, and a busy day into one filled with meaning. Ask yourself, who do you want to be, Alex or Emma? The choice is yours, starting now. Lesson 5. Define your why. Purpose is the compass that guides your life. Without it, even the most impressive achievements can feel hollow. But in the hustle of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of this vital force. In 2025, take the time to reflect deeply on your why. Why do you wake up each morning? Why do you strive, dream, and work? These questions aren't trivial, they're the foundation of a meaningful life. Knowing your why is more than just identifying goals. It's about understanding the essence of what gives your life energy and meaning. To uncover this, find a quiet space where you can disconnect from distractions. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Let the answers come naturally, without judgment or overthinking. Write down the first 3 things that come to mind. These may be people, passions, or principles that light a fire within you. Don't rush this process. These reflections are the seeds of your purpose. Take Sophia, for example, a marketing executive who seemed to have it all, a 6-figure salary, a stylish apartment, and a calendar packed with networking events. But despite her outward success, Sophia felt an inexplicable void inside. Each morning, she dragged herself out of bed, wondering why she felt so disconnected from her life. One evening, after another exhausting day filled with endless emails and shallow conversations, Sophia decided to make a change. She lit a candle, turned off her phone, and sat down with a blank journal. She asked herself, why am I doing all of this? What truly matters to me? At first, the silence was uncomfortable, but soon the answers began to flow. She realized that what she valued most were creativity, meaningful relationships, and making a positive impact. She remembered how, as a child, she used to lose herself in painting for hours, and how she'd always dreamed of mentoring young women to pursue their passions. Over the next few weeks, Sophia started making small changes. She signed up for a painting class to reignite her creativity. She reached out to a nonprofit organization and offered to mentor aspiring entrepreneurs. Gradually, her life began to feel more aligned. Even her demanding job became more fulfilling as she found ways to infuse her work with her values, suggesting creative campaigns and building deeper connections with her team. Sophia's clarity of purpose didn't just bring her fulfillment, it also gave her direction. When she was offered a promotion that demanded even longer hours but didn't align with her newfound priorities, she confidently declined. Instead, she pursued a role that allowed her to combine her marketing expertise with her passion for mentoring. Once you've identified your why, nurture it by revisiting it regularly. As you move through the year, let your purpose become your anchor. When faced with decisions, ask yourself, does this align with what truly matters to me? Like Sophia, you may find that clarity of purpose not only helps you focus, but also empowers you to build a life that reflects your deepest values. As challenges arise, and they inevitably will, return to your why. Let it ground you in moments of uncertainty and propel you forward when motivation wanes. Purpose isn't static, it evolves as you grow. Make 2025 the year you not only define your why, but live by it, allowing it to shape every aspect of your journey. Lesson 6. Align actions with values. How often do your actions reflect your true values? Many people live in conflict, where their deeds don't match their principles. This disconnect creates emptiness, no matter how much they achieve. Consider the story of Emma, a corporate executive in her late 30s, who was lauded for her professional success, but felt increasingly restless. Despite climbing the corporate ladder, she couldn't shake the feeling that something vital was missing. Her days were consumed by work that clashed with her deeper values of community and creativity. While she once dreamed of being an artist who contributed to social causes, the demands of her career kept her tethered to a life she no longer recognized as her own. One day, Emma came across a Buddhist teaching on the importance of aligning actions with values. The message struck a chord. She began to reflect deeply on her choices, asking herself a simple but profound question: does this align with who I want to be? She realized that many of her commitments served her reputation, not her true self. Determined to change, Emma made a series of small but significant decisions. She started saying no to projects that didn't resonate with her, despite the financial rewards they promised. She took weekend classes in art therapy, something she'd always been curious about, but had put off for years. Gradually, she reduced her work hours, freeing up time to volunteer at a local community center. With every step, she felt lighter, as though a weight she hadn't fully acknowledged was being lifted. Buddhist teachings remind us that harmony arises when your actions align with your values. In 2025, let this be your guiding principle. Before committing to anything, pause and ask yourself, does this align with who I want to be? Saying no to what doesn't serve you isn't selfish, it's essential. End of Chapter 7. When Emma finally exhibited her artwork, a series inspired by the resilience of the community she served, she felt a sense of peace she had never known. Her life wasn't free from challenges, but the emptiness she once felt was replaced with a profound sense of purpose. When your actions and values are in sync, you'll experience a sense of peace and purpose that no external achievement can provide. Let this alignment guide your journey. Like Emma, you might find that the most significant transformation comes not from changing the world around you, but from honoring the truth within. Lesson 7. Adopt a growth mindset. Life isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Buddhist philosophy teaches that every experience, whether joyful or painful, is an opportunity to grow. A growth mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones and failures into lessons. 4. Hannah was a young artist who lived in a small, picturesque village. She loved creating pottery, spending hours each day molding clay into beautiful shapes and designs. Her dream was to craft a vase so exquisite that it would be displayed in the village's annual art exhibition, a prestigious event where the best artisans showcased their work. After weeks of meticulous effort, Hannah finally completed what she believed was her masterpiece. The vase was elegant, with intricate patterns and vibrant colors. Excited, she carefully placed it on a shelf to dry, envisioning the applause it would receive. But the night before the exhibition, a strong wind blew through the open window of her studio, knocking the vase to the floor. The sound of shattering clay woke Hannah, and she rushed into the room to find her masterpiece broken into pieces. Her heart sank, and tears welled up in her eyes. The next morning, Hannah sat staring at the broken shards, wondering if she should abandon her dream. But as she examined the fragments, she remembered something her grandmother used to say: Every crack is a story, and every story is a lesson. Inspired by these words, Hannah decided to try something different. She gathered the pieces of the shattered vase and carefully began piecing them together, using a golden adhesive she had heard about but never tried before. It was a slow and tedious process, but as the vase took shape, Hannah realized something incredible. The golden lines highlighting the cracks made the vase even more unique and beautiful than before. When she presented the repaired vase at the exhibition, the audience was mesmerized. Many said it was the most stunning piece they had ever seen, not because it was perfect, but because it told a story of resilience, creativity, and growth. Hannah's story illustrates the essence of adopting a growth mindset. Instead of viewing her broken vase as a failure, she chose to see it as an opportunity to learn and create something even more meaningful. Just like Hannah, when faced with setbacks in 2025, ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I turn this challenge into an opportunity for growth? Remember that life's challenges often lead to our most profound transformations. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and recognize that even broken pieces can be mended into something extraordinary. Lesson 8. Inspire others by leading authentically. Authenticity is magnetic. When you live true to your values and purpose, you naturally inspire those around you. Think about someone who has deeply impacted your life. Chances are they weren't perfect, they were real. Their imperfections weren't flaws, they were reflections of their humanity, which made their influence resonate more deeply. Authentic leadership isn't about trying to be flawless or larger than life. It's about being genuine, relatable, and grounded. It means embracing your strengths and acknowledging your vulnerabilities, allowing others to see the full spectrum of your character. By doing so, you create an environment where others feel safe to be themselves, fostering trust and connection. In a small tech startup, a young CEO named Elena faced a critical moment. The company had just lost a major client, and her team was demoralized. Everyone looked to her for answers, expecting a confident, unshakable leader. Instead, Elena gathered her team in the meeting room and began with a simple, heartfelt admission. I won't pretend this isn't hard. I'm disappointed and scared, just like you, but I believe in what we're building, and I believe in all of you. This isn't the end of our story. It's a chapter where we prove our resilience. Her honesty was unexpected, but it resonated deeply with the team. Elena didn't have all the answers, but she was real. She went on to outline a plan to rebuild, involving everyone in brainstorming sessions and inviting their ideas. She emphasized the company's core values: creativity, collaboration, and integrity, and asked her team to trust in them as a guide through uncertainty. Over the next few months, her authenticity transformed the team's dynamic. They felt empowered to take risks and share ideas because they knew their voices mattered. Slowly, the company regained momentum, landing new clients who aligned with their values. One employee, Amir, later shared how that moment changed him. Elena's honesty made me believe in myself. She showed me that leadership isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about being real and helping others see their own potential. In 2025, lead by example. Make choices that reflect your values, even when they're difficult. Prioritize kindness, not just as a feel-good action, but as a deliberate and courageous choice, in a world that often rewards competition over compassion. Show integrity in your decisions, ensuring that your actions align with your words. Authentic leadership isn't about demanding respect, but earning it through consistency, fairness, and genuine care for others. Your authenticity will create a ripple effect. When you live authentically, you inspire others to embrace their true selves, breaking free from societal pressures or fear of judgment. This encouragement isn't just verbal, it's modeled through your actions. By pursuing your growth and living your truth, you give others permission to do the same. As you shine your light, you empower others to discover their own. Your authenticity becomes a beacon, showing that leading authentically isn't just effective, it's transformative. It uplifts individuals, strengthens communities, and contributes to a world where people lead with purpose and compassion. In 2025 and beyond, authenticity isn't just a personal choice, it's a catalyst for collective progress. Lesson 9. Focus on what you can control. Life is unpredictable, relationships shift, plans falter, and challenges arise. Trying to control everything is not only exhausting, it's impossible. But peace comes from focusing on what you can control: your thoughts, actions, and growth. Imagine you're rowing a small boat across a vast ocean. The waves crash against your vessel, unpredictable and fierce. You can't command the ocean to calm, nor can you stop the wind from howling. However, you have the power to steady your oars, adjust your sails, and navigate with purpose. This is the essence of control, mastering your response to the storm, not the storm itself. To illustrate this, picture a young artist named Lila. She dreams of showcasing her work in a prestigious gallery, but the journey hasn't been easy. Rejections pile up and the pandemic disrupts her plans, leaving her frustrated and unsure of her future. For a while, Lila feels paralyzed, overwhelmed by all the forces she cannot control: gallery closures, economic instability, and the subjective tastes of curators. One day, while walking through a park, she notices a child flying a kite. The wind is strong and erratic, but the child doesn't fight it. Instead, they skillfully adjust the kite's string and angle, allowing it to soar higher. Inspired, Lila realizes that she too can stop resisting and start adapting. Instead of obsessing over the closed doors, she focuses on her art. She experiments with new techniques, shares her work online, and connects with a community of fellow artists. Slowly but surely, opportunities arise: a virtual exhibition here, a collaborative project there. Lila's circumstances didn't change overnight, but her mindset did. By concentrating on what she could control, her effort, creativity, and persistence, she turned setbacks into stepping stones. In 2025, direct your energy toward what lies within your sphere of influence. It's easy to get caught up in the what-ifs and the uncontrollable currents of life, but doing so only leads to frustration and helplessness. Instead, cultivate a mindset that empowers you. When faced with challenges, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow? Each obstacle becomes an opportunity when viewed through this lens. Think of a setback not as a roadblock but as a detour, guiding you toward a better path. Like Lila, the frustration of an unexpected turn can teach patience, ignite creativity, or deepen your resilience. By focusing on how you respond and what you take away from experiences, you transform setbacks into stepping stones. Ultimately, control is not about dominance, but about presence. It's about grounding yourself in the moment and choosing actions that align with your values. The storm may rage around you, but with steady hands on the oars and a clear sense of direction, you can navigate through even the roughest seas. Lesson 10. Let go of external validation. In a world dominated by likes, comments, and applause, it's easy to tie your self-worth to external validation. But true freedom lies in detachment. Buddha's teachings remind us that craving, whether for possessions, praise, or status, leads to suffering. Imagine carrying a cracked jar of water through a busy market. You frantically try to patch the leaks, desperate to keep it full, but the water keeps escaping. This is what seeking external validation feels like: an exhausting, never-ending pursuit. Every compliment or accolade may feel like a drop replenishing the jar, but the cracks of self-doubt and insecurity ensure that the sense of fulfillment is fleeting. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. It means finding joy within yourself. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Celebrate the journey, not the applause. There was once a sculptor who spent years perfecting a magnificent statue of a lion. Every detail, the mane, the muscles, the intensity of the eyes, was painstakingly crafted. When the statue was finally complete, he placed it in the town square for everyone to see. At first, the townsfolk crowded around, showering him with compliments. He basked in their praise, feeling proud and accomplished. But soon the crowd moved on, distracted by a new fountain that had been unveiled nearby. The sculptor felt a deep void. He began questioning his work and wondering if it was truly good enough. Desperate for recognition, he decided to carve an even grander piece, hoping to regain the attention and admiration he had lost. As he worked, he became increasingly frustrated. The joy he once felt while sculpting had vanished. He was no longer creating for himself, but for the approval of others. One day, an old man passing by noticed the sculptor's distress and asked, "Why do you carve?" The sculptor hesitated before admitting, "I carve to be seen, to be appreciated." The old man smiled and said, "Then you will never be satisfied. Carve because it brings you joy, because it's who you are. The lion you created was already perfect. Its worth doesn't change because others moved on. Find fulfillment in your hands shaping the stone, not in the eyes watching you work." The sculptor took these words to heart. He began carving again, this time with no thought of applause or acclaim. For the first time in years, he felt free. The cracks in his metaphorical jar began to heal, not because of external praise, but because he filled it with his own sense of purpose and joy. Final thought: transform yourself to transform the world. Focusing on yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. In a fast-pacing, ever-changing world, prioritizing your personal growth and well-being is the cornerstone of creating meaningful change. The truth is, when you invest in your own transformation, you ignite a ripple effect that touches every aspect of your life, uplifting not just yourself, but also your family, friends, and community. Imagine the impact if each person made the conscious choice to better themselves, not out of obligation, but out of a deep desire to live authentically and purposefully. As we step into 2025, let this be the year you make a commitment to cultivating self-awareness, discovering your purpose, and building resilience in the face of challenges. Each moment of reflection, every choice to grow, and every act of self-compassion contributes to a more grounded, intentional version of yourself. And as you evolve, so too will the world around you. It's not about grand gestures or instant results. It's about the steady, consistent work of nurturing your inner world. It's about asking yourself the hard questions, embracing discomfort as a sign of growth, and celebrating the small victories along the way. The outer world transforms when the inner world is aligned. So, here's the question. Are you ready to reclaim your purpose and focus in 2025? Are you ready to take ownership of your life and lead by example? The journey begins now, with you. It starts with a single step, a decision to choose growth over stagnation, clarity over confusion, and hope over hesitation. The world will change as you do. The question is, how will you choose to change?